Hey, just a quick note before the start of the episode. I had an incomprehensible problem where my file got corrupted while I was mastering this. So for the first day, and only the first day, there are gonna be some parts which might not make sense because I've had to cut out a lot of sentences that got completely destroyed. The rest of the episode is fine, just know that there were technical difficulties, and please be patient with me. Alright, have fun! Greetings, Gacha fanatics, Gacha haters, and people who know about Gacha games unwillingly and have mixed feelings about the whole concept. It's a whale eat dolphin world out there, and together we're going to dive right in. Soulmates Gone Fishin', your survival guide to gacha jank and gacha brilliance. I am not Ivy Fox, who is presently recovering from surgery. Nevertheless, you can send her your well wishes at Ivy Fox Art on co-host and to go listen to her horror fiction podcast, The Mad Bird, on your podcast app of choice. Joining you instead is Ash. That's me. If you want to find me, don't. I don't go on social media. It's foolish and bad, and I only use social media for the sake of the show. I do the show's co-host. It's at soul-mates-podcast. But you can follow me on Ko-Fi if you want to give me money, which is the acceptable way to support me as a human being. You can support the show at Ivy Fox Art as well. I think that's all the things that I normally say. I didn't do a whole bit, so I kind of lost the plot. Our theme is by Spinus Electronicos, who you can find on Bandcamp, and our cover art is by Rygarden, who you can find on Instagram. On this mini-series, we're taking a turn away from visual analysis of gacha games to instead focus on the experience of playing a gacha game. In service of this, each week I'm going to pick up a new gacha game and record for you a daily log of my observations from good to bad to ugly. This week's game is Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party. Did I get that right on the first try? I hope so. It would make me feel really proud of myself. I'm pulling it up on the App Store because I always forget to do this right before I start my intro. Bandori? I just need to search Bandori and it'll come up. Yes, BanG Dream Girls Band Party. Which is described on the App Store as popular rhythm game in Japan. Tap to the rhythm of 450 songs to choose from. Play both original and cover songs from popular J-pop artists and anime songs. Play your favorite songs on a level of difficulty that suits you. That doesn't really describe the game at all. But I appreciate it. I could have picked a different part of this long App Store thing. Play as a staff member of Livehouse Circle. Create the best live concert together with the 7 charismatic girl bands in the game. Soon there will be 8, but I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Hopefully there will be 8 by the time I finish this. It'd make me happy. But the state of things are kind of unsure right now. Anyway, Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party. I like that the description of it is only in imperatives, because it reminds me of the, John Darnielle of the Mountain Goats, singer and songwriter for the Mountain Goats, who has long threatened to make a song made up of only imperatives, and has almost done so, but I think creating an App Store description made up of only imperatives is an equally noble goal. This game was covered on the Great Gacha World Tour Week 3, and so I put it here on Week 3. I decided the games I was going to do for this before I learned what the games were for the Great Gacha World Tour. And when that episode came out, I was like, God fucking damn it, I have to change things. So I talked to Ivy, and I really wanted to do a rhythm game for this, because I play a lot of gacha rhythm games, which is to say 2, and there's not that many English language gacha rhythm games. There's Project Sekai, there's Ensemble Stars, there was briefly the Love Live global version, that shut down within 3 months of its inception. And then there's some other, like, major English language mobile rhythm games, but I don't know if I would describe them as gacha games per se. So it's like those three and Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party. And I already play Project Sekai and Ensemble Stars, so I can't do those, because it wouldn't be authentic. But those are the ones that I like, and so I was like, damn it, I'm gonna have to pick something else. But Ivy said it would be a good idea to do, I thought it'd be cute to do one that's, shared between both miniseries. So that's what we're doing. I'm playing Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party, which is a fun experience given that the things that I know about it are basically only about the pink bear Michelle. If you haven't listened to that episode, you should go listen to it before this, because that's chronologically accurate, and if you don't listen to every episode of the show, you're not getting the authentic experience. And if you're coming just because you found out that we have a Bandori episode, we have another Bandori episode, and you should listen to it. So I love rhythm games. I am a prolific rhythm gamer. I wish I was in proximity to a rhythm game arcade. It makes me want to move to Texas every day, even though moving to Texas seems like sort of a hell situation. But they have, like, a nice rhythm game arcade in Houston. I'd really like to go. The only place you can find, like, an actual cabinet is at, like, the Dave & Buster's, where they have a DDR machine. I just want to play rhythm games, man. So instead I make do with Project Sekai and Ensemble Stars and whatever I can download onto my computer that, doesn't feel awful. I tried Osu for a while. I just, like, Osu is very overwhelming to me. Right now I'm really into Vivid Stasis, which is free on Steam. It's got a whole ARG thing going on with it that I'm actually not particularly fond of. And the visual novel is mixed in quality, but I basically ignore all that and just play the rhythm sections. It's really enjoyable. And so, I have been very excited to play this because I love a rhythm game, and I love an excuse to play a rhythm game for 3 hours a day. And so I will, and it'll be really fun. I'm gonna meet some guys. I was really overwhelmed starting out, finding out that there are 7 groups in this game, and all of them have 5 members? That's 35 characters. Like, Project Sekai has 20 guys. I know this is less than Ensemble Stars, because Ensemble Stars has a ton of groups. But, like, Project Sekai, which is my actual reference point, has, like, 4 members per group and 5 groups. And this has 7, and each of them have 5 members. And that's just a lot. I found out before starting this game, because I was on the In Stars and Time fan Discord. And someone made a little, a thread in their forum, for people who are into rhythm games. And somebody mentioned, like, anybody here play Bandori? And I said, hi, I don't right now, but soon I will start my week-long review of it. And they said, oh, cool. And they were like, just letting you know, this is actually a really interesting time to get into this. And so I was like, okay, hey, just so you know, this update has been delayed. And I was like, oh. So I'm not sure when it's coming out. But they have a new group. My favorites on Vibes, because I was just scrolling through them while the game downloaded. I like Reza Sullen, because they all have cool names. There's, like, all of them just have, like, word names. It's quite fun. And then the other one I like is Rosalia, which, because I'm inherently attracted to, like, the over-dramatic emo aesthetic they have going on, it just seems like a lot, and I like it a lot. Everyone, as a group of characters, and I promise I'm not picky, I play other games. Each of the characters in Bandori, they are that thing the most. I spent basically all day just, like, watching the Poppin' Party story scenes. I'll go through my notes. All of the girls were first years. The tutorial was very short. When you pull from the gacha, you do it by cutting the stub off of a ticket to a show at the Live House, which is actually quite cute. I did do a poll. I got a 3-star guaranteed ticket for starting out, and so I did my 3-star guaranteed pull, and it gave me For Lisa ne Ako Udagawa. So that's a 3-star Ako Udagawa. I then pulled from I think this is the standard banner. I watched 10 story scenes for Poppin' Party. There's just a lot of story. They have 3 whole seasons worth of story for me to catch up on. I could watch them unvoiced, but that's a betrayal of my values. So I just have them on auto. Kasumi is a freak, which is because they do say this in the story. They say, in those words, Kasumi is a freak. She is, like, a wildly overstated personality. Everyone in this game is fucking stupid. Oh, also my game crashed, which is a new one. I was thinking that I would have to do this more often for my gacha games, for how often they crash my phone. This rhythm game has release timing, and I always forget which rhythm games have release timing. Vivid Stasis doesn't, and this game does. So at first I was just holding the hold notes for as long as they asked me to, and not releasing them exactly on the beat. And also there's, like, 3D segments with skill cut-ins. They just, like, overwhelm me. The only other notes I made from all this story stuff, which I watched so much of it, but, she forms a band with, like, some people. She gets a cool guitar, and then she goes to a live house to, be like, can I practice guitar here? And the owner is like, this isn't a music studio, no. And also you have to pass an audition. And so they go to the Space, I think it's called, Space Live House, and the owner is this, like, old woman, with white hair, but she still has a little dyed pink streak in it, and honestly, I wish that were me. And then Kasumi is a freak, is the other thing that I wrote down. She does ask all of her friends, like, am I a freak? And they all go, well, maybe, kind of. So that's pretty funny. Tomorrow, I guess I will try and, I'm gonna try and do a lot tomorrow, which is to say I want to full combo as many easy songs as I can so I can move on to higher difficulties. I'm kind of neurotic about these things. I probably could do higher difficulties right off the bat and it'd be easier for me, but I'm getting my feet under me, so it's fine. And then I'm gonna try and, like, go through all the other bands and see what I can glean about them, and try and finish the, like, episode 0 for Poppin' Party so I can, check off the thing on my punch card that says, like, watch a chapter 1 story. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm busy watching episode 0 and not episode 1. And I'm really neurotic, and so I want to do it in order, and so I can't do this for you, and I'm sorry. But soon. Also, I need to figure out what the band rank does. Many things to consider. So I will get on that as quickly as possible. I imagine I'm going to become slightly obsessed with this game. Unfortunate, I don't have enough space on my phone for all of this stuff. So I'll check back in with that update, and then that'll be tomorrow. So I'll see you then.
富山かすみ、ポッピンパーティーのギターボーカル担当です。ポピパは私たちが1年生の頃に組んだバンドで、今年で結成2年目になります。
Hello, it's day 2, Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party. Let's get into it. So I have a lot of notes all the time because I spent more than 3 hours playing this game, not because I'm having a particularly good time playing this game, not that I'm having a bad time playing this game, but it's just like, I'm watching all of the story, and it takes forever. There are 27 segments in the Chapter 0, or Episode 0 story for Poppin' Party. And Poppin' Party isn't even the band I'm really interested in, but I've committed. And so I watched 17 story segments today. It took me about an hour to watch 10, so it was almost 2 hours to watch 17, not to mention the fact that the last ones were longer because they performed a whole song. I thought it was going to end at 20. There were more than 20. It was really scary. Things I did in the actual game today. I did do a poll, I'll get to in a minute. I like that you use studio tickets to level up, because it's literally like you go into the studio and you practice for a while and it makes you better. It's kind of fun. I did do the looking into things that I said I would do last time. The Season 2 bands are Morphonica and Reza Sullen. The first 5 bands are Season 1. And then I guess MyGo will be a Season 3 band when they release. dev issues continue. MyGo is still not out. I really hope MyGo will come out. This would be awesome for me. Oh my god, so much of this is just about the story. Sometimes when I do a live, and then after the live, the dialogue plays in Japanese instead of English. Like, audio is always in Japanese, but, like, the subtitles for it are in Japanese instead of English, and I don't know what to do about that. So sometimes I just don't get to know what they're saying. That's fine. In the cut-ins for the 3D cut-ins when they use their skills, which are still really overwhelming, I do like that everyone plays their instruments properly. Who was I talking about? Chu Squared. Chu Squared, is that her name? Chu Squared? Yes. She's just like a DJ, and so she just, like, you know, hypes up the crowd behind her DJing equipment. My current, like, loadout is, like, 2 guitarists, someone with a keytar, and then, like, a drummer, and, like, everyone is just playing their instruments properly in the cut-ins always, and I appreciate that. It's not just, like, them, it's them playing their instruments. They play an instrument. They're specifically, I would like to make a band made up of only drummers. It would make me happy. Anyway, I will attempt to make a band that's made up of only drummers. I think this would genuinely be kind of fun. I still kind of wish I was playing Ensemble Stars, but that's my problem. I think, generally speaking, the experience I've had with this game so far is, it's a lot like Project Sekai, which is to be expected, but mostly it's like Project Sekai in the sense that the story segments are so goddamn long, and there's so many of them, and also you level up your characters and also your bands. The band rank influences, you get rewards for your band rank, and then, I don't remember exactly what they said the band rank influenced. I thought it would unlock story, which is how it works in Project Sekai, but that's not true. Instead it does something else, and I don't remember what that is. But leveling up your characters, not like the cards, but just like the characters themselves, gives you the opportunity to improve their stats across all of their cards. You have to pay for it using the, like, just coin currency, which is fascinating. I almost went broke paying for this, and I only have guys at level 2, so that was fun. As with, like, other idol training games, each card has, like, performance, vocal, and visual. I don't remember exactly what the 3 categories are, but they have 3 different categories of, like, stat. And I don't know what those stats actually affect, or whether they really matter at all. But this is the same as Ensemble Stars, and I just, like, don't really get it, but it's fun. That's it. I did get a lot of full combos today. I intended to do more. I didn't because I was busy watching the story. I will watch another story and see if it's as long as that. But, I'd like to get through my little beginner punch cards, so I guess I have to watch Poppin' Party Chapter 1 next. My Gacha poll, and then I'll get to story stuff. Are you ready for me saying words again? There's a lot of words. I got 1 3-star and 9 2-stars, so it wasn't a very good poll. But I got Scarlet Soul Mocha Aoba, that's 2-star. Scarlet Soul Tsumugi Hazawa, 2-star. On Stage Lia Imai, 2-star. A Sparkling Stage Chisato Shirasagi, 2-star. Rock and Glow Tsumugi Hazawa, 2-star. The Spooky Scare Case Tomoe Udagawa, 2-star. Spirit of Bushido Eve Wakamiya, 2 stars. Blooming Cheers Eve Wakamiya, 2 stars. Shy Angel Rimi Ushigome, 2 stars. And Round We Go Ako Udagawa, which was my 3-star. I love saying words. As for the story of Poppin' Party, there's, like, a lot of stuff that I genuinely sort of appreciated about it, and there's a lot of stuff that was, like, kind of, normal. Everyone who meets Kasumi is, like, I've never had a friend before, which is just an energy, I think, to get... Like I said, everyone in this game, their gimmick seems to be being an idiot, and so, like, a bunch of weirdos who've never had a friend before forming a band feels right. Tai has rabbits, and they won't show them to me, We even, like, go to her house, and she introduces all 5 of her rabbits, and we don't see them, and it makes me so sad. I wrote down Tai plays a few scales. Everyone, you wrote that? Incredible! Because there was a segment in the story where it was like, oh, let me show you the song, and then she pulls out her guitar and starts playing, and she's like, I came up with this while I was in the bathtub, and the thing that plays auditorily is like, bum 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 bum, and it's like, yeah, buddy, that's scales. So the members of the band are, obviously Kasumi, and then there's, Tai, who's a, guitar freak, and then there's, I wrote down her name, didn't I? I think, hopefully. No, I didn't. What? Why didn't I? I'm sorry, I don't know the names of the characters in here. Well, there's Rimi, I know that, who's like a shy girl, and then there's Arisa, I think. Arisa is the one who is, like, the girl that Kasumi meets first, who's, like, the straight man of the group. And then there's Saya. And Saya is, like, there from the beginning. Like, Kasumi is like, wow, I'm so excited to be in high school. And then she meets Saya and is like, can we be friends? And it's like, sure. And then this continues to, like, just sort of have Saya be a side character who isn't a part of this whole band thing. And I was like, is she eventually going to join the band? And everyone else was asking that too, because Kasumi asks her to join the band, and then there's a whole thing about it. But I actually find her really compelling, which is maybe just because she's a normal person, and I really like normal people in these kinds of, like, overstated personality situations. She's there the whole time, and then Kasumi finally broaches her maybe joining the band, and she freaks out. She's like, I can't be in a band. I mean, she says, maybe after the cultural festival I'll join you. But then, a member of an old band that she used to be in approaches her and is like, I'm so glad that you're in a band again. And she's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And it's because the last time she was in a band, right before their first performance, she was like, my parents said they would be here, but I don't see them. Let me call. And then she calls, and it's that her mother has collapsed, and, her siblings are freaking out. And so she's like, I need to help out my mom. She has sort of a weak constitution, and I can't let her be alone, and so I can't do things after school, and I need to, not be in a band, because being in a band is what, made her collapse, because I wasn't there. And this is, like, all pretty standard stuff, but she does have this whole conversation with Kasumi. I mean, she has this, like, really compelling and interesting and, like, kind of affecting, breakdown where she's like, no, I can't, is it supposed to be fun for me when other people, Kasumi is like, we'll help out around the store, and then, your mom won't be burdened, and you can also come with us. And she's like, no, my old band offered that too. And is it supposed to be fun when other people, make themselves unhappy on my account, and I'm the only one who gets to enjoy myself? Is that supposed to be fun? She just doesn't want other people to do things for her, because she's like, it has this kind of complicated thing. It's like, it's not so much I need to suffer, and it's kind of like that. But it's mostly just like, I don't want other people, like, making themselves unhappy on my account, and, even if this isn't a thing that would make you unhappy in and of itself, you're still doing things for me that you would otherwise not do, and I just, like, I can't be the one that everyone goes out of their way for. This is very, like, butch. I just, like, I really liked it. And then there's a, they're playing at the cultural festival, and Saya, didn't say she was gonna come necessarily, but, Saya doesn't show up for the cultural festival because her mom collapses that morning, and she goes to the hospital with her. But her dad is there, and so everyone asks her dad, like, oh, hey, what's up with Saya? And it's like, oh, well, her mom has anemia. And it's like, it's such a, like, anticlimactic reveal. It's like, my mom has always had a weak constitution, and it's like, she's anemic. She passes out because she's anemic. She's just anemic. And her dad is even like, it's not that big a deal. And I keep trying to tell her that it's not that big a deal. It's very funny. But, like, moving right along, the girls go and audition at Space, and it is fine. There's a whole, like, listen, I think the last, 10 chapters of this are completely unnecessary, because it is, I mean, not completely, but it's just we auditioned at Space, and then we failed, and then we worked hard, and then we auditioned at Space, and then we failed worse, and then we had an emotional confrontation, and then we auditioned at Space, and then we made it. And it's oh boy. It's just a lot. But because they go to Space and they, see some people perform, Rosalia, the band, gets to make a cameo, which is fun because it makes you think about the timeline of this whole thing. Rosalia hasn't been formed. Other bands haven't been formed yet, but Rosalia exists and is good enough to play at Space already, which is just kind of interesting. And also they're so over-dramatically emo. My god. I really do love them. They have these big, goth headpieces. It's just sort of awesome. But the thing that I do think is nice about the last, 10 episodes of this chapter is that the gang has kind of an intervention with Kasumi for being a weirdo. Kasumi gets told that she's the weak link after they audition by the owner, and she kind of, freaks out about it. She works herself really hard and, it ends up losing her voice, and then, can't sing, and it's a whole thing. And she's like, well, I'll just keep working hard. And then when it turns out she can't sing, she's like, you guys can practice, it'll be fine. And then she runs off, and everyone runs after her, and she's like, I'm sorry, I'm such a bad musician, I'm so much worse at music than you guys. And they're like, yeah, we know. It's fine. And she's like, the owner told me I didn't understand myself or any of you. And they're like, yeah, kind of. You're kind of a freak. You rush into things, and you don't really listen to other people, and you are weird, and just sort of you're not in touch with the real world. And so when people try to talk to you, you don't really listen to them. And that just kind of sucks. But, we would like to be friends. It's kind of nice. It's I like that Kasumi being kind of annoying and obnoxious and, actively kind of a problem for the other girls is acknowledged as a part of the story, and they move past it, and it's nice. And then they do some a cappella singing. The thing that they come up with is oh, well, instead of you being the only singer, everyone should sing, and then we'll all help you out. Yay! And then they do some a cappella singing, in the park when they're having this confrontation, testing out their new, divisions of the vocals. And it's it's really nice. I get to see the lyrics for the song because they're just singing straight up one of the songs, but without any backing and, in the middle of this cutscene. So that's kind of nice. And then Kasumi's voice actor does a really good job of singing in character because she sings it well, but she also sings it kind of in the middle of crying and having a really weak voice. It's just nice. Half of the jokes in this game are based on the idea of accidentally doing gay shit, which I guess that's what they're going for. Soft Yuri. They do make it into space, and then they, get costumes, and oh my god, I've seen their final costumes because I've seen them, but their original costumes look so bad. They just have a white t-shirt that has Poppin' Party written on it, and these gray twill tutus with green stars on them. And it's it's nice because it's appropriately amateur. They just put this shit together in, Arisa's basement. Kasumi designed them. They don't look good. It's really funny. And that's all I have for that. I really wish I could play more of the game instead of just spending the entirety of my week reading the stories, but I suppose I'll spend my entirety of the week reading the stories. I like doing a little bit of writing analysis on the side. It can be fun. So, I hope it is engaging to listen to me talk about the characters in this game a little bit. And tomorrow I'll probably focus a little bit more on the lives, but we'll see what my punch card says once I've watched some of the Chapter 1 story. And I'll just do whatever the punch card says, because I just want them to be proud of me. And that'll be day 3. So, without further ado, I'll see you then.
山吹さやです。ポッピンパーティーのドラム担当です。ポピパを始めてそこそこ経つけど、毎日楽しくやってます。
Hello, we're back! It's day 3 of Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party. I really enjoy saying Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party every day, and so it makes up for everything. Like, regardless of my final opinion on this game, I've enjoyed saying Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party. I'm a famous fan of long, unwieldy titles like Fate, Khalid Liner, Prisma Star, Ilya Lakes, The Nameless Girl, and, you know, I haven't gotten that in a while, so now it's time for Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party. My crash counter for this game has reached 2. Not as bad as it could be, worse than I would like it to be. I opened the game today, it was like, you want to download 5 megabytes of data? And I was like, always. And then everything immediately stopped working. It just left me on a screen that I couldn't click out of, and that I couldn't do anything on, that just was some patterns. And I was like, okay! And so I relaunched the game, and it turns out that screen was just like a little animation that was supposed to play to say, Happy Birthday, Kokoro. Happy Birthday, Kokoro. Thanks for crashing my game. And then the game opened with a cutscene, and I was like, what the hell is happening? And then it wasn't even a cutscene for Kokoro's birthday, it was a cutscene for Akko's birthday. And, like, they have so many characters in this game. Every time it's one of their birthdays, when you open the game, you get a cutscene that is, like, 10 minutes long? So long? If you let the dialogue play, obviously. And 10 minutes is an exaggeration, but it's so long. It might not be an exaggeration, I just start timing these out properly. And then the Akko's birthday cutscene finished, and I was like, okay, well that wasn't Kokoro, and, well, lo and behold, there was a Kokoro birthday cutscene after that. And so I was dying, and I just wanted to play Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party, and I could have skipped it, but I'm too much of a stickler for the authentic experience, especially since I'm doing this for the podcast, so... I finished the beginner punch card, the first one of 5, and then it was time for the second punch card. They asked me to watch an episode. The terminology that they use for these things is kind of confusing. They were like, watch a lounge conversation, and I was like, oh, you mean the ones that pop up in the areas, so you just click on the guys and they have a little conversation? They were like, no, that's an area conversation. To get to lounge conversations, go to band, and then to character gallery, click on a character, and then click on their lounge conversations, and then play a lounge conversation, which is a different thing. And I'm like, okay, and they asked me to watch an episode, and I was like, you mean like a band story? And they were like, no, different thing. I clicked on the thing to get clarification. They were like, here's what an episode is. An episode is when you have a card, you know, your 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, your cards, you can click on them. Nope. I'm distracted. I started staring at the stickers on my computer, and I was like, wow, those are yellower than before. I am kind of energetic tonight. But you go to your card, you go to your training, and they should have 2 story episodes that go with the card. The first one you can unlock when you get the card. The second one, you have to get the card to max level in order to unlock it. And it costs more. But both of them give you gacha currency for viewing them, which is nice. This is also exactly the way that Project Sekai works. You know how it is. These games are kind of the same. So I watched one of the swimsuit cards that I got. I watched the episode for that, and I was like, maybe this will explain why there's so many swimsuits. It did not. It wasn't about the swimsuit at all. It was like, they went on a little trip to the mall and then talked about their plans for the summer. And it's like, okay. The card image didn't show up in this at all, which I guess they don't have to. I know from Project Sekai that usually these images, like these full CGs that they have of the untrained cards, appear, like, during the event that they're associated with, in the middle of the event dialogue. And so they don't need to appear in, like, the card story, because that would be redundant. But it's still kind of weird. I'm used to maybe Limbus Company's way of doing things, which is that, like, you know, while you're reading the dialogue for the character story, you see one version of the card, and then during a certain point in the story, it switches to the other version of the card. And so you just look at the card. Anyway, I fully trained that card. I got it to... I'm playing this game very differently than I would one of my normal rhythm games, rhythm gachas, and any of my gachas in general, really. I didn't do this for Fate or for Food Fantasy, but I kind of... I don't know. I felt like trying new things. Usually when I play gachas, I'm very insistent about keeping all of my cards the same level. Like, I want them to be balanced. I don't want to have one card that's significantly stronger than the others. And this is, like, not optimal at all. You should have one card that's significantly stronger than the others. That's, like, how you make it work. You should, like, be leveling your 4 stars and ignoring your 2 stars. But I can't stand that. I want my... You know, I want my little guys to be good, because you can't train them up very much, and so it's, like, really satisfying to have them at max level. Anyway, so, you know, I trained up my 4 stars instead of, you know, doing what I normally do, and so I got my 4-star swimsuit guy to max level, and that means that I was able to ascend or train the card art, and so it gave me the new card art. And it was fine. I like it less, I think. Let me remember what card it was specifically. I think it was, not Seaside Posing Eve. Was it? Yeah, Lighten Your Heart Chisato Shirasagi was the card that I was training here. So you can look at her card art and you'll see what I mean. I don't really like it, the trained version. It kind of bothers me. I did watch, in order to finish that first punch card, I did finally watch one of the Chapter 1 stories for Poppin' Party. They feel less like... The Chapter 0 stories were very much like the band stories for Project Sekai, not to be like this. Which is to say that they, like, you know, explain the way that the band got together, and it's like an ongoing drama, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And, like, maybe this will change, because I'm only, like, 2 story episodes into Chapter 1. But it feels less like an ongoing drama and more like just, like, a series of, scenes. Like, relatively disconnected scenes that just kind of take place in chronological order, which is nice. I mean, it's nice to just see them interacting. But I know that, like, after Chapter 0 and then Chapter 1, it just gets to event stories, which, you know, I could watch, but I probably won't, because I don't have time for that. I really wish I did, but I don't. I did a lot of lives today, because that was what the second punch card was asking me to do. When you're doing a normal live, which is to say one that's not in 3D, the little chibis of the characters, you have a bunch of little chibis of the characters that you're using, and they're up on a little stage, and people are waving glow sticks at them, and it's really cute. It's the same stage that they use to show off your gacha poles. It's very cute. But the little chibis of the characters on stage respond to held notes, and also if you have simultaneous, like, connected notes. Then depending on where they are on the lane chart, different characters will respond to them. So if you have, like, you know, 2 on the very ends, the 2 characters on the end will do a little jump. If you have a hold note in the middle, then the middle character will do a little jump. It's adorable. I actually really like it. I meant to check if they had a, like, return to song select button that I'm just missing, but every time I play a live, it does kick me out of that menu instantly after I'm done. Just kind of annoying, but I'm not sure whether I'm just, like, pressing the wrong buttons. I'm holding my judgment on that, and I'm definitely gonna forget to check tomorrow. I tried turning off the 3D cut-ins because they're really overwhelming. This is a problem that a lot of rhythm game gacha games have, is that, like, because you have your guys and they're trained and they have their skills, you know, you'll hit a note to activate their skill, and it'll just make them talk, and it'll also make a thing appear on screen, and it's, like, really overwhelming. There's just characters talking throughout the entire song, and I'm like, I just want to listen to the song. You made it just for the game. It's an original song. And so, you know, this is, So I tried turning up the 3D cut-ins to see if at least the visuals would be a little bit less overwhelming. Obviously, it didn't change any of the vocal stuff. It definitely reduces some lag. Not having 3D elements definitely helps my game not crash, which I know this from playing Ensemble Stars and Project Sekai. So if I keep the still images instead of the 3D stuff, then I have less of a possibility of missing notes because of game lag. So, that's good. But the way that it changes it, instead of having, like, the cut-ins of the characters playing their instruments, which I really liked, it just replaces them with a still image of the card art for each of your characters, and this is, like, so much worse to me. Like, it's really, maybe it's just that I have a bunch of swimsuit outfits on that I don't really like looking at, but it's just, like, so overwhelming. When a skill gets activated, there's a little side cut-in first, and then there's a whole screen cut-in afterwards. There's 2 separate cut-ins every time you get a skill activated. And then when you get another enough combo, there's 2 side cut-ins, each with voice lines, which is also a lot. But the thing that's, like, more overwhelming about the still images versus the 3D cut-ins is that, like, the 3D cut-ins were moving around a lot, but they're always on a solid color backgrounds, and, that was not too bad, but the card art is so colorful and shiny that it's, like, suddenly a whole thing is covering my screen, and it's not even a thing I really like to look at that much. I was just kind of hoping that it would reduce the intensity of the cut-ins, or, like, the amount of screen space that they took up. No. I'm still looking for some kind of setting where I can maybe reduce this or turn off the voice lines or something, 'cause it's really bothersome. When I'm playing either of my other rhythm games, they don't have this huge cut-in. Like, they have the voice lines, but they're just like little, icons of the characters appearing on the sides. Tiny little icons. And so Bandori having these giant things is like, I know that they're making up for the fact that they don't have a 3D visual, and that's kind of the whole thing that they're doing, but it's like, it's just so much. It's, like, really scary. It's funny because I really don't have this problem with, like, background videos or 3D lives, and, the 3D lives are kind of nice even though they lag my phone, just because they don't have the cut-ins. But, like, I do get distracted playing the rhythm game if I have something to watch in the background, but, like, usually I'm distracted looking at, like, subtitles for Ensemble Stars, because I want to know what they're saying, and so I get, like, I'm staring at the subtitles and I'm not hitting the notes, but at least I'm, like, enriched in a good way when that's happening, and not in a bad way. That's my observations for today. I, briefly thought that I was going to have nothing to do today because my phone would be crashing, but no, it was alright. I didn't get enough currency for any gacha pulls. I did get some gacha pull tickets, but I didn't want to do single pulls because it seems like you can do 10 pulls, and I know 10 pulls are always better, and I'm neurotic, so I didn't do any regular pulls. So, I will be back tomorrow. I don't know how much of tomorrow I'll spend watching scenes and how much I'll spend playing the rhythm game. I should really move up to higher difficulties for the rhythm game so I can properly, like, review the way that the charts are. And then maybe, this happens with Project Sekai, is that I know that the cut-ins, I actually don't know if this is true of Project Sekai. I know that this is true of Taiko no Tatsujin, which is not a gacha game. It's a rhythm game. Specifically Taiko no Tatsujin Pop Tap Beat, which is the phone version, is that when you're playing difficulties higher than, like, normal, it doesn't play the obnoxious, like, voice lines all the time, because you need to focus. And so this might be true of Bandori, and I really should check. So I just need to, like, get over how neurotic I am about playing all the songs, because there's way too many for me to play, and just, like, try some out on normal and try some out on hard. So maybe that'll be my project tomorrow. Anyway, I will talk to you later. I will see you then. Me when I forget my little catchphrase that I've started doing at the end of these.
皆さん、こんにちは。パステルパレットのベース、白崎千里です。バンドを始めたばかりの頃は、慣れないことばかりで、自分自身、 もどかしく感じることも多かったんですが。
Hello! Welcome back! It's day 4 of Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party. I had an ordeal today, and so this took me multiple days to record, which is, messes up my schedule a little bit, but, I'm being cool about it. And the ordeal was that I received $15 from Ivy, because people donated, a lot to help our hosting costs, and, we wanted 3 months of hosting costs, and there was another $15 in there, which is very nice of you. And so I got $15 to do polls on Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party. Every Apple product, though, is so stupid, and I had so much trouble setting up my payment method for in-app purchases on this phone for the first time ever, because I've never made an in-app purchase on this phone. And just to buy 2,000 stars, for $13, which is what the beginner's deal is, and, I just wanted 2,000 stars, which isn't even enough for a 10 pull, but I had some others, so I could do a 10 pull with it. And it took me 2 days, because it's so dumb. But I got it to work, finally, so I purchased some stars, and then I made a pull, and we'll get to it in a second. But I also watched some more of the Poppin' Party, Chapter 1 story, and I had my first appearance of card art during one of them, which is nice. Like I said, I recall this from Project Sekai, is that the card art appears the untrained card art appears, during the story segment, and then you get a card based on it. But we had our first appearance of that with Kasumi talking about star-shaped candy, which is nice. The story scene was also super short. Maybe I'm just losing it, and maybe everything seems shorter or longer than it is now, because everything is thrown off so much. But they just, talk about getting candy, and then it ends. They're like, okay, in the middle of practice, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll talk about candy, and then we'll go back to practice, and that's the whole thing. I trained, seaside posing Eve Wakamiya, and she looks so overwhelming in the trained art. Oh my god. This is kind of my pattern with the trained art right now, is that it's just, so much. Also, things I've learned about Eve Wakamiya, I think I'm gonna do pastel palettes next, if I, decided to sit down for 4 hours and watch one of the story scenes all the way through, because I'm fascinated by them. I just, have ended up getting a lot of their cards, and so I sort of, have absorbed more about them than any other group. They're sort of fascinating to me, and I also just like idol-raising games, so this was, designed for me to get obsessed with. But for some reason, Eve talks about Bushido all the time, or Bushido, like a samurai, maybe? And I don't know why, and I would like to know why. I found out that in the rhythm section, you know how I was talking about, how the hold notes and the combined notes make your little guys jump up and down? Well, if you do them on the very edge lanes, I tried out some normal and hard charts today and didn't have that, or, yesterday, and didn't have that much of trouble with it, which is nice. But I'm intimidated by trying an expert chart, so I'll do it tomorrow. I could have gotten a full combo on that hard chart, but I did get a little overwhelmed. But they do add the very edge lanes of this 7-lane setup, and those make the speakers on the sides of the stage light up, which is adorable. I trained I'm So Excited Choo Squared. Choo Squared might be pronounced Choo Choo, I learned today, but I haven't heard anyone say it, so I'm gonna keep saying Choo Squared. But I'm So Excited Choo Squared changes to a bad outfit that I don't like, where she has these giant pigtails and also a katana. Again, really missing on the trained art so far. I tried what they call live 2D mode for one of the lives, and I liked it a lot, actually. They made me do this for the punch card, and so I, changed my settings. But what it changes is that normally you're looking at the chibis on stage just from one angle, but in this one they changed the camera angles a lot, and you can, kind of get a sense of a little bit more of a staged performance, which is nice. And then the cut-ins are way less overwhelming. They're way less interesting, than like the 3D instruments. But they take up so much less of the screen space, which is so nice. My God. They just like, instead of being a like thing with a big background or the whole card or background color or whatever, they just like pop up the talk sprites on screen to talk to each other. Also, I learned that during the normal and hard charts, no, they don't. They stop. They keep talking. They don't stop. I actually went looking for that back to song select option that I just assumed that I was missing, and there isn't one. Why? This is a little irritating. Sort of like I'm building a small list of gripes with this game, which is largely fine, but there's like parts of it that could just be designed better, and I'm like, I also they asked me to watch a, quote, special episode, which is the second story episode you unlock if you manage to fully train a card, like get them to max level and ascend them, or train them, rather. And so I watched that for the Chisato swimsuit card again, and like in the first one, they were just at a mall talking, and in the second one, they're still at the mall. And Marina, who runs the, studio, comes and is like, hey, and they talk for a while. And she just, like, describes the nice time that she had at the beach. Why would you do this? Why would you describe the thing that you did at is this something that happens in the event and I just haven't seen the event and I don't know? Is she just, like, recapping shit that happened during the event? Why wouldn't you just show me her having a nice time at the beach? Just show me the scene. I feel insane. Like, it's just so wild to me. This is wild. And then I did my poll, with my Ivy money. I marked it down in my notes as Ivy's special poll. I learned that when you get duplicate cards, that's how you get master cubes, which I've been wondering about for a while, because they have a whole exchange for them, and then also you use them to increase the mastery level of your guys. This is a mechanic that is also in Project Sekai, but because I'm playing this game differently than how I played Project Sekai, because in Project Sekai I'm obsessed with getting all my guys to the same level, and also leveling up all of my 1-stars before I do my 2-stars, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Because this is different, and I'm trying to play it like a normal person, I only got 2 mastery cubes, and I need like 100 mastery cubes to increase the mastery level of my 4-star cards, and I'm like, oh. But I probably only need like 1 to increase the mastery level of my base cards. Ivy special poll. I got dupes for the first time in this one, and I got 2 3-stars. And, thus, I got 8 2-stars, and 2 of those 2-stars were dupes. But I got 2 of Cheerful Star emoji, Rimi Ushigome, and Illuminating Dreams Chisato Shirasagi. We love Chisato Shirasagi in this house, ? I actually do kind of like her. Based on her personality in those episodes, she's like, kind of chill. And I like sort of a grounded character, especially, like I was talking at the beginning about how I, am kind of thrown off by the really intense characters. The really, like, insane amounts of, everyone being stupid. And so, like, Chisato seems pretty grounded, which is nice. Now I have a ton of her cards, and I got 2 of those. And then I got Blue Roses in Harmony, Rinko Shirakane, and Blue Roses in Harmony, Ako Udagawa. Both of those are 2-stars. Pop-In Colors, Kasumi Toyama, that's a 2-star. Familiar Tune, Himare Uehara, that's a 2-star. And then my 2 3-stars that I got were Time Spent in Secret, Yukina Minato, or Minato. I'm never sure how to do the, accent syllables on those, the stressed syllables. And so I'm probably butchering them, but it's okay. I liked, this was apparently a Valentine's Day event one. I keep getting, like, events that are like Valentine's Day, summer, Halloween, Christmas, and it's like, okay. I don't know whether this is because of the banner that I'm pulling from, or if that's just sort of what's going on. And this was really cute. She's, like, hanging out with cats. I actually really like this one. And then, Christmas for All, Arisa Ichigaya. Like I said, Christmas. That's our 3-star. It was nice to get an Arisa card, because I have been hanging out with her a lot, watching the Poppin' Party, stories. She's the most of a straight man out of that group, but she's also kind of a tsundere, so it's like not quite as attractive to me, as a character. And so it's like, but, still nice to have a card of her after all this time. And then I also got, from my daily login bonus, I got my 3-star special ticket where I can choose another 3-star that I want. Last time I chose, looking at my notes, I chose, I did choose one. Didn't I? Maybe I didn't. I thought I chose a lock card, but maybe that's not true. But this time I chose All's Well That Ends Well Hina Hikawa because I liked the art on it at first glance, and also because it's a pastel palettes card, and I figured I should, just like go with the flow and get into those. So I managed to level up a couple of my cards fully, and so now I'm getting B ranks on songs. The rank of, I realize I have to explain this because I just assume everyone knows what is going on. When you're doing one of these rhythm gacha games, this is true of all the ones that I play, you get, your combo and stuff, but you also get a score, which is not just based on your performance, but is also based on the units that you use, and there's certain thresholds that you reach for score. You basically always can get a C rank. There are a couple of times in Ensemble Stars where I've had so low-level units I didn't get a C rank, but once you have your units trained enough, you can start getting B ranks, and then A ranks, and then S ranks, and those give you better rewards for clearing the song, and so I've started getting B ranks because I have one, completely fully trained unit. I'm trying to do skill level ups. I keep getting skill tickets, but they're not enough to level up my skills, which is probably fine, maybe? It's probably just I'm trying to level up, high star level units, and those always cost more to level everything up, but, I'm doing my best. I think that's it. I did actually relatively a lot today. It's kind of been because it was multiple days into one day of recording session because of the mess that was, trying to get in-app purchases to work. It's, a little bit more than usual. But I still haven't, I feel, I'm just, I'm always going to be on the outside of Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party because it takes more than a week to fully understand what's going on in this game. And so I still feel a little bit have I done enough? Do I have enough? I still feel like I'm kind of dipping my toes in the waters, and I haven't done a whole lot to break into the massive amounts of story that they have. But the story isn't interactive, and so I I want to do stuff. I want to just clear songs, but I also want to know what's going on, because that gives me stuff to talk about. So it's just kind of a hard game to cover. I'm having an alright time. It's not a bad game. I like rhythm games. I like visual novels. It's just there's a lot of things that are a little bit off about it, and again, my problem with Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party is I'm always I could be playing Project Sekai right now. And so I think, my preliminary review of it is that if you're gonna get into a rhythm gacha game, I really prefer either of the other two that I play to this one. But it's not bad. If you're, committed to really getting into the Pink Bear Michelle, then live your truth. It probably wouldn't bother you as much if you haven't played Project Sekai or Ensemble Stars. I really wish I had gotten into Love Live Global version while it existed for 3 months, because I really want to know what that was like, but, anyway. Distractions. Tomorrow, I'll dive into expert charts, probably, if I remember. It's weird saying these tomorrow things, because I always forget what I said on them tomorrow, and then I don't do that, but I'll probably try and get into expert charts, and then maybe I'll dip my toes into pastel palettes. I'm still trying to clear out all these beginner punch cards, because then it'll give me, 1/5 of a pull. It's really hard to get pulls. Even, watching story scenes isn't giving me very much, which is, the way that you get pulls in these other games. So, meh. Anyway, next time, day 5, good things, and I will see you then. 漆黒の闇より現れし、
混沌を司る魔王裏側アコ参上だーん。
Hello. Welcome back to Gone Fishin'. Today is a somber day because I am reckoning with the realization that despite the fact that this week has stretched on for longer than 6 days for various reasons, I am still unlikely to encounter the release of the band MyGo into Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party due to development issues with the release of this band onto the English version, unless it happens tomorrow. And, I'm recording this, within the week that it will be published in, so I'll have less than a week to edit this episode. Unless it happens tomorrow, and I really can't stretch it out any longer than that, I am not going to experience an event in Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party, nor am I going to witness the beautiful birth of the band MyGo, and this is a great shame. I wish that it were not so, but, I did my best. I worked my hardest, I waited so long, and I thought that it would happen, and it just didn't happen, and they're not running any events until MyGo was released. More importantly, though, than the integrity of Gone Fishin', which attempts to catalog the experience of playing this gacha game, is the fact that I won't be able to finish my damn punch card! I can't finish my punch card! I'm on the last punch card, and one of the punch card things is you have to experience an event story, because they don't usually have that long of breaks between events, and they don't, the break is too long, and so I can't experience the event story, and I feel so sad. And so I'm not gonna get my 500 stars, that's like 1/5 of a 10 pull, I'm not gonna be able to get it from finishing my punch card, because they're not going to run any events. It makes me so sad. This is awful and horrible, but I did do a lot today, and I do have a lot to talk about. I didn't do any pulls today. It's so hard to get pulls in this game. I'm not sure how to make it happen faster. Please help. But I did use one of my 3-star guaranteed tickets to do a single pull, because I, could be doing more of those, but I kind of wanted to wait until I had 10 pull, but I'll just pull all of them tomorrow if I need to. But there was a little thing on my punch card that was like, you gotta use your 3-star ticket, and so I was like, okay, anything for you. And I got the lead role Kaoru Seta, which is a 3-star, and it's, Kaoru's the purple-haired Shakespeare lesbian, so that's exciting. It's a really good, card. Also, her voice is so deep, it's kind of dreamy. I trained a couple of cards today. I trained 4 cards, I think. 3 or 4. And, I actually like some of them, which is new. I trained, for Lisane Ako Uragawa, and she looks great in her trained, card. She's in this, marching bandy outfit. The pose is really fun and dynamic. I just really like it. The base card looks good, and then this card looks good too. Even though it's not her usual Roselia, outfit, which is more emo than this, but it still looks good. What are the other ones that I did? I did All's Well That Ends Well Hina Hikawa, which is the one I got, yesterday, from my 3-star guaranteed selection ticket. And that one also looks pretty good. I like the colors. Her face is a little much for me, but I'm kind of realizing that's something that just happens in Bandori for me. It's just the style is a little different than I'm used to, and so it kind of freaks me out. But it's good, generally. The colors are good, the composition is good. I trained 3, yeah. I trained, the Splash Trio Himare Uehara, who looks alright in that art. For the swims, it's the one swimsuit one that I actually kind of like. All of these are 3 stars, by the way. But she's about to fall over. Why is she about to fall over? Just let her stand upright with her guitar. I know this helps with your diagonalitis if you can just tilt them, but no. I I did some lives. I did a lot of lives, actually. I learned that whenever you hit a note during one of the live 2D ones, where they, like, change the camera angles everywhere, the lights on stage change, and this is great. I would have an easier time with all of these if I could, like, hear the song underneath all of the skill activations. I learned that if you do a rehearsal, which is to say it doesn't count, and it doesn't consume any energy, and it doesn't count towards your high score, and you can, like, continue even after you hit 0 energy. If you do a rehearsal, there are no skill activation voices. There must be a setting for this that I'm not just seeing. Just not seeing. And it would be so helpful. I would like to, be able to hear the songs, because the voices are so loud. I think I made this observation while I was playing one of the quieter songs, and then I played one of the louder songs, and it kind of, like, drowned it out. But, that difference in and of itself is a little irritating, too. It is, I found, easier, I think. This might just be because I trained my cards in between, but I think it's easier to get higher scores on higher difficulty tracks, which is fascinating, because, like, Project Sekai and Ensemble Stars specifically don't work like this. And I know that the tracks are balanced for, like, amount of notes, or at least for length, because I did one of the, they're called full song lives, or full lives, which is where you get to hear an entire song instead of a cut down version for the rhythm game. And those are, have a higher difficulty rating just because they're, like, 3 or more minutes long. But I got a very normal score during that, and so it's definitely balanced so that the more notes that you have, your score will still be roughly the same. But I think I got a noticeably higher score on, like, a hard chart than an easy, which is fascinating, because I perform better on the easy, ostensibly. Maybe it's something to do with, more skill activations and more score? I don't know. I didn't have that much trouble clearing an expert chart. I had some fumbles, and I did try the easiest expert chart, but, like, with a day's work, I think I could probably full combo it. I didn't try that hard, but, it was pretty simple. I made sure to, like, do all of I didn't go into it blind. I did the easy, normal, and hard versions of that chart first, and then I tried the expert chart and got, like, I think 3 misses on my clear, which is not good, but it's not, like, awful. It wasn't super overwhelming. I did find that there is a return to song select button, and the return to song select button is called retry live, and I saw it, and I was like, I should push this just to make sure that this does what I think it does, which is to say, immediately drops you back into the same one and lets you do it again. And no, it brings you back to song select. That's not an intuitive name for that button. That's really irritating to me. I tried also a special chart, which is the difficulty level they have above expert. After you clear a song on expert, you can get a special chart, I think is how that works. Maybe you can do them normally, but I got the tooltip for them after I cleared my first expert, so meh. And it's described in the, like, tutorial as an expert chart with special notes, like directional flicks and, curved holds. But it was not that. I was expecting just the normal expert chart, but with, like, different, just changed notes. And it was not. It was a harder chart than expert, and I failed almost instantly. I'm not I don't do master difficulty in these games. I'm just not that good. What else? I'm trying to see if I have any other observations about lives before I move on to story observations. No, it's just story observations. That's okay. So I watched Poppin' Party Chapter 4. I did not watch any Pastel Palette story, like I said, because I was, I fully played 3 hours of this game and just, like, was doing other stuff, which is impressive because I have been having trouble, like, finding 3 hours of stuff to do that isn't just watching story for a bit. To be fair, I did watch, like, 5 episodes of Poppin' Party story, but these are pretty short story episodes, so I just cleared a lot of lives. But for Poppin' Party Chapter 4, Michelle was there? Why was Michelle there? The pink bear! It's because she was the mascot for that shopping district, and they were like, it's Michelle! But, like, also some of them were like, there's a person inside, right? And others were like, what? No, there's not. Which is, great bit. Why does every character in this game stupid? Also, Michelle's, like, standard mascot costume doesn't wear clothes, which is very weird to me after seeing her in Hello Happy World. It's really freaky. This not just Michelle, but there was also another character who showed up whose name I did not write down. But it's really freaky that characters from other bands will just, like, show up in other band stories unexplained. Like, I don't know what order I'm supposed to be watching all of this in that I would know all of these people by now. How am I supposed to know who everyone is at the same time? There's no way. I found out that it's not Reza Sulen, it's Reza Suilen. Suilen? Suilen? Fascinating. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, I was saying that I really wish my other rhythm games had full lives, because, like, sometimes I just want to do an entire, especially for, like, my Vocaloid songs, I really want to do an entire song. I'm really familiar with them, and so I like them, and want to do them. And even if it's, like, 4 minutes long, like, I'll endure. And Bandori is not a coward's game, so I appreciate that. Tai is probably my favorite Poppin' Party character. I might have said Arisa was before, but now it's Tai. She's just, like, really weird and awkward. I won't, like, regale you too much with what this story is, 'cause it's kind of dumb. But, you know, the chapter 1 story for Poppin' Party is, like, you know, we gotta get this festival. They canceled the festival, and we gotta get the festival back. And so they go to the community center, and the entire time that they're, like, talking to the representative of the community center, Tai's voice lines just sound so weird. She's like, you know, "Oh no! What? We have to do something about this." It's, like, really performed, and I think it's just, like, an audio gag and not ever actually acknowledged, or I don't know if it even is, but it's just, like, really strange and charming to me. I appreciate her weird swag. She's a freak. I think that's it. I thought to write this down, but I didn't. It turns out there's a lot of movies for this game. I found this out while I was looking at the wiki, but there's a lot of movies for this game, and I'm thinking maybe I should watch at least one of them, but I'm not sure. It's like, you know, I cleared one of the movie MVs, which are, like, you know, they show you the scene from the movie in which they play the song, and it was so laggy, it was very funny. I did write this down, I just totally skipped it in my notes. But, you know, it makes me think that I should maybe watch those movies, and maybe I'll get a little bit more context, but I'm not sure how much of it is just, like, rehashing the stuff from the game. I don't know. And also, is there one for every band? Like, they keep releasing these. I know there's one for MyGo. It's just, like, it's very, very strange to me. It freaks me out a little bit. Bandori is a whole thing, is what I've learned. Like, Project Sekai is just getting, you know, there's, like, an anime for it, but they're just getting a movie now, I think. I don't know. Oh, and I found this website, which I'll make sure to link in the episode description, called, I think it's Bandori.party? Yeah, it's Bandori.party. And it is a community database, which is great. They've got some, you know, cool stuff on there. It's also like a little community hub, but mostly, you know, they've got BanG Dream and Girls Band Party as separate tabs on here, and I don't understand why. It's Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party, obviously. But it, like, has a list of, I was looking for how to get to the full songs, because I couldn't figure out which songs were counted as full songs. And the answer is just, like, go to the menu and filter in, or use the filter, because there's a filter for full songs. But I'm stupid, so, you know, I went to the internet first. And I found Bandori.party, and it has, like, detailed information on, like, when every song released, how to obtain it, you know, and you can, like, add stuff to your list of cleared songs. It's, like, really, really detailed and interesting. Apparently they have stuff for characters, too. I think this might be a whole, like, you can add stuff to your personal collectability database. And I really wish other games had stuff like this. Like, I play a little bit of Honkai Star Rail, a little bit. I get really into it sometimes. But it comes and goes for me. And there's like, for Hoyo games, I'm sure there are online tools like this for Hoyo games, but the only ones that I've encountered are stuff like, tracking your pity and tracking your polls. And, that's fine, but I just like stuff like this that's like a really detailed, they have a fandom wiki, which is also really good, but, a really nice detailed, guide to all of the stuff in the game. Plus it's got like a little fan art section. It's cute. So that was interesting. That was a fun find. And that's all for today, I think. It was a pretty busy day. I did a lot of this while playing my Limbus Company Mirror Dungeon. And for some of the easy charts, I in the space in between notes, I was able to hit, win rate and continue my battle, which was really funny. It worked surprisingly well. I don't think I dropped any notes because of this. I'm kind of getting into it. I still, like I've said before, I still kind of wish I was playing one of my other games. I have design issues with this game that are not insignificant. But, and I'm not captured or entranced by any of these characters or story particularly. But, I respect that it's got a whole thing going on. And it's got some stuff that I wish my other games did. And if I could get pulls more frequently and with more consistency, maybe I would be there a little bit more, which is shameful because I don't consider myself that much of a gacha addict, but I've got to have things to talk about for the podcast. So, it'll factor into my final thoughts, tomorrow. I just feel like I've been a little harsh on this game so far, and then I had a pretty good experience today, so much to discuss, much to think about. So tomorrow we will wrap up Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party, and we'll see if my thoughts are any different. I'll see if I can get one more band's full first story in, and we'll talk about that. And then maybe a poll, it depends. Rest in peace, MyGo. You're never releasing on Global as far as I'm concerned, because I'm probably going to drop this game as soon as I'm done with it on Gone Fishin'. But, such is life. I will see you tomorrow.
花園太です。ギター担当。ポッピンパーティーです。私、ポピパが好き。バンドが好きで、ポピパが好き。
Hello! It's day 6, the final day of Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party. It's been a longer romp than usual. I started this episode by going, I think MyGo is going to release. Folks, it did not. This game, I've learned from the people who play it and who have talked to me about it, is the global version is plagued with bugs, and they simply don't feel inclined to fix them a lot of the time. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I had a good time, even though MyGo didn't release like I wanted them to. I didn't get to do any events. I will probably not come back to it just because I have other games. And I'm very invested in Project Sekai right now, which I'm looking forward to re-downloading once I have the storage space free on my phone again. But, I'll be excited to hear about the MyGo release from people who do play it, and maybe if it's compelling enough, I'll come back and give it a watch. But I did a lot of things today. I finished Poppin' Party Chapter 1, and I also did the Pastel Palettes opening chapter like I said I would. And I learned that the bands that are not Poppin' Party only have a Chapter 1 and not a Chapter 0, which would have been nice to know before I got myself into the whole ordeal of watching a lot of Poppin' Party. But it's the authentic experience. I have a lot of notes and I'm just going to go through them because we need to get to the end of the episode, but I did write a lot down today. If there's one thing I appreciate about the story in Bandori, it's that the girls are only capable of playing music to solve problems. Like, in Fate, you always have to fight things, and that's always the solution to your problems. In this game, it's like, kind of music is the solution to all your problems, because of course it is. But because it's like, the visual novel and the rhythm game are pretty separate, they can just, like, talk about their feelings. So that's nice. When I was finishing Poppin' Party, and my brain is kind of taken over by Pastel Palettes right now, because I really enjoyed Pastel Palettes, spoiler alert, but I wrote down for Poppin' Party, that the whole thing has, like, a cute girls doing cute things energy to it that I feel pretty ambivalent about. This was, like, the whole Poppin' Party Chapter 1 story is centered around them getting this star-shaped candy from the festival, and, like, everyone on Poppin' Party, like I've said, is kind of stupid, and so, like, you know, I like Tai and her weirdo energy, and I also like Arisa and her, like, tsundere energy. I thought to myself, like, Rimi is, like, not a character. Kasumi is extremely a character, but her character is just, like, one that I find kind of weird and annoying. Arisa and Tai are characters that I like, generally speaking, even though they're kind of one-dimensional, and Saya has some dimension to her, but her personality is mostly just normal. Rimi has none of this. Rimi has not had an emotional arc. Rimi's entire personality is shy, and this is just, like, bothersome to me. All of the girls in the band get a card moment during the 20 episode chapter 1, which is very nice. Ties is playing guitar. I think I wrote down a lot of these. They had a sleepover because they were, like, doing, they were writing a song for this festival performance. And they were, like, they had this long sequence of, you know, being at the sleepover and doing sleepover things. And Kasumi is the most annoying person at anybody's sleepover. Like, you know when you all just, like, want to go to bed, but one person keeps proposing little games and activities, and it's like, we're literally, the lights are off, we are asleep, and you are like, you guys want to have a pillow fight? And it's like, Kasumi, please just go to bed. They do perform using, I don't know if these are, like, their actual costumes, I could check, but they do perform using nicer costumes than the, like, t-shirts and skirts that they had, for the last performance, which is really cute. And then, that's all my notes on Poppin' Party. Then I watched all 20 episodes of Chapter 1 of Pastel Palettes, and folks, my opinion has turned right around because I really, really liked the Pastel Palette story. It starts with everybody who's already, you know, being, like, a trainee or in some way involved with the idol agency. It's like, Aya is a trainee. I have all their names written down. I'm gonna forget them immediately. Chisato is a child actor who's also, like, you know, not a trainee, but she's done, like, modeling. Eve is a model. Hina did did an audition for a band and got into this. And then Maya is a studio musician at the agency. And so they're all already there, which is nice. Getting right into the group dynamic. Originally, it's just 4 of them, and they're like, we're still trying to find the drummer. And so they give them they give them an interim drummer who is Maya, and then Maya becomes their 5th band member, because they're like, I love you. The main girl is Aya. She's pink. I actually don't know her that well at the start of this, but I do know Chisato, Eve, and Hina, because those are the ones that I'm using on my main band. Eve's casual outfit, I don't know why I wrote this down, but I really liked it. Eve's casual outfit is this, like, adorable sleeveless sweater with these nice knitwear cables on it. I just love knitwear. From the beginning, I liked all of them. Eve is the only one who's, like, a stupid weirdo, really. Hina is just, like... Hina is awesome. I love Hina. She's really blunt and arrogant, and she develops a thing which is, like, almost kind of a stupid girl gimmick near the end, but she, like, has an arc where she's like, thinking about other people. what? And then she spends the entire rest of the story being like, anything that lets me meet, quote, other people, end quote. The quotes are they're diegetic. Will, like, I want to do that. That's exciting. I've never thought about other people before, because I'm perfect. She's just sort of awesome. She's the, like, punky band girl. And Chisato is the former child actor who's, like, very serious and, like, deep in the industry. Eve's Bushido thing is never explained. She just loves the way of the samurai. I wish that I knew why. That's her character trait from beat 1, and she does not gain any more. It's kind of charming, but it's also really weird. The whole gimmick of Pastel Palettes is they're an idol band. So they're an idol group, but they also play their own instruments. At the beginning, this is like, the plot of this progresses super fast, and I really like the pacing of it. But at the beginning, they're like, we have your performance in 2 weeks, we're going to give you your instruments, you're going to learn how to play them convincingly, but we're going to have a backing track behind you, and then you're also going to be lip-syncing. And, we'll just get that together, and then you'll perform, and then we'll be good. And so there's a real, like, the harshness of the industry thing going on here, which is kind of present in a lot of idol stories, and it's kind of one of the reasons why I really like them, which maybe is just a me freak thing, but I really like this kind of, it's not edgy, but this, like, feeling of a constraint that's always hanging over you. It's weird, like, one of my favorite pieces of, like, idol-adjacent media is the webtoon Lost in Translation, which is about a K-pop group, and about this, like, K-pop idol who, is habitually put into scandalous situations by his employer in order to generate more publicity for his group. And this is, like, hardcore. There's not a lot of real, like, I love being an idol stuff in here. But, and so it's sort of strange to go to these more traditional idol stories, and for the, the payoff is always, like, this industry is hard, the staff isn't always kind, things don't go your way because it's a big, churning machine, but nevertheless, I want to bring hope to people as an idol. And, like, Lost in Translation kind of ends like this, but it's not mostly about this. And so Aya, as the main character of this story, is very much like, I want to support people's dreams, I want to tell people that they can do anything they set out to do, and by the end of it, all of her band members, like, regard her as such a, she's, like, kind of a fail girl in terms of being an actual musician. She is bad at practice, and she has really bad stage fright. But she has, the courage to bring other people together, and, all this kind of dreamy, personality, idol-y stuff. And so there's a lot of, like, I love idols, let's go. Well, there's also, like, we have a performance in 2 weeks, and we just got the band together, and also we don't ever practice together, and we're just learning how to fake it. Of the outfits, I wrote a lot about the outfits. I wrote that Chisato is a cutthroat professional, which I like. Maya doesn't look super cute and appealing like the rest of them. Aya is pink. Chisato is yellow. Hina is blue, and Eve's hair is like light blue white. But they put Eve in purple, which I actually don't like for her. But Maya just has, like, brown hair and glasses. She genuinely, like, the first time I saw her on the menu screen, I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about this character design. Not a cute and appealing anime girl, maybe, but I really actually like her bit now that I sort of know more about it. And also her fashion is impeccable. Which is that she's just, like, a normal studio musician who was never going to be on the stage. And she just gets picked up by this group and sort of drawn into the wave, which is really, really fun and nice. She's a huge music nerd, and she has kind of an evil laugh. It's awesome. she's the first one to get a card in this, and she gets it during the second episode, which I'm, like, not a huge fan of. But she has the, like, beautiful when she takes off her glasses kind of trope, and then they are like, take off your glasses, and then it's like, we want you as our 5th member. It's like, okay. She does look better without them, but it's really overplayed. They put Aya's hair up in pigtails for the, idol outfits. I actually hate it. I really like her hair down, and putting it up in pigtails, like, freaks me out. I'm maybe just not a big fan of pigtails. Hina is the blue one, so I have to put even purple. I really like the way that the ribbons look in Hina's hair, and Maya also looks very good because she's in green, and that fits nicely. These outfits are all, like, have a dropped sleeve, and so you get to see the shiniest shoulders of all time, as mentioned in the Gacha World Tour episode. Awesome. Maya's casual outfit is, okay, she's wearing a white tank top with, like, a black, sports bra or undershirt or whatever, and then over it, she has suspenders and a flat cap, like a beige flat cap and black suspenders, and it's an insane look. It's like, I don't know what she's going for. She's going for newsboy. I kind of love it. Aya also puts her hair up in pigtails for practice, so it's not just, like, completely an image thing, I guess, or maybe, living within the, world of the narrative. It's not completely, an idol image thing. She puts her hair up in pigtails when she's, like, gonna be practicing and sweaty, and her practice outfit looks so bad. It's one of those little, like, you can feel the texture of the shirt just by looking at it. It says love on it, and it's yellow and pink and has a tiny little bow in the front. And it's awful. It's so bad. On the other hand, Maya's practice outfit is death metal shirts, so, I have a preference. I did pick out a quote from this one, which is, Hina, they ask Aya to, like, strike a pose, and then she does, and it's really bad. And Hina says, I think I'm gonna do a pose that's absolutely not that. That terrible example actually helps a lot. Thanks! And this is, like, her energy, which is what I really like. Her energy is, extremely backhanded compliment, but she means it entirely genuinely. Everyone sort of communicates like shit in this. The whole kind of plot line is, they do their first performance in, like, episode 3, but the backing track drops out, and there's, like, a technical difficulty, and then everyone finds out that they're lip-syncing and also faking their instruments, and they get awful press, and they have to, like, go, and all their events are canceled, and then they go back and practice so that in case this happens again, they can play their instruments live. But Chisato is not practicing with them. All of them decided to do extra practice to try and improve, except for Chisato, who's busy with her other appointments as a famous person. And she has, like, kind of a, I want to quit the band, but I am not allowed to because it'll be bad for my image kind of thing. And so she, like, Aya's whole thing is, like, hard work and effort will get me to where I want to be, and I can achieve my dream. And Chisato's whole thing is, like, I'm a hardened professional, and I know that hard work and effort doesn't get you where you need to be. It's, like, badgering the staff, using your connections, and so she's just, like, constantly talking to staff about getting them events, trying to do all this stuff, and she's very distant from the rest of the group. They, like, never interact. So everyone communicates like shit. Hina, like, is talking to Aya during practice and goes, like, I really don't understand why you're not getting this. Like, I would be able to get it first try. You just kind of, like, feel the music and then it comes to you. I don't understand why you're so bad at this. It's really fascinating. And Aya's like, oh, okay. But all of them have really genuine feelings. Even Chisato is, like, trying her best in her own way. They just, it's really nice, even though they are shit at communicating with each other. Hina's still kind of a dense asshole, but she becomes really excited to learn about how other people aren't perfect. Aya gets really overwhelmed by people being nice to her, which is, like, relatable and adorable. Everyone has kind of, like, a compliment session for Aya, because they're like, you're, like, our leader, da-da-da-da. And she's, like, she just starts crying. It's very cute. I wrote down, what is it about these idol groups and their polyamorous Yuri? This post is about More Jump from Project Sekai. This joke is just for Burb. this one's for you, Burb. They really have a strong, like, Maya is extremely a lesbian. Like, so much a lesbian. And, you know, Chisato and Aya have this kind of enemies to lovers thing going on, too. They're not really ever enemies, but, you know, there's this adorable scene where, like, they're out selling tickets, and it starts raining, and Aya stays out there selling tickets anyway, and then Chisato comes out to help her, and they have, like, a beautiful bonding moment, and they both get a cold. It's very cute. This game does have a tendency to just, like, skip over all of the bits where they actually learn an instrument, which is hilarious. This happened for Poppin' Party, too, is it's like, okay, we're gonna form a band, okay, we're gonna practice, and then there's, like, you know, in the middle of other stories, they're like, I'm kind of bad at the instrument, Kasumi only, but, like, you know, unexplained by the time that it's time for the school festival, and by the time that it's time for this town festival, they're like, you know, we can write our own songs and perform them, which is like, okay. I do appreciate that in this group, it's like, the songs are already written, they were already honestly performed, you know, they just have them in to do studio vocals, and somebody else does the instruments, and then they'll just lip sync to that during their performances, but, you know, so the songs are not of their own creation, but they do learn how to play instruments within, like, a couple months, which is not unrealistic, but they do skip over that whole bit. I also wrote down, also they tend to coalesce around a fail girl, and that was my last note. Anyway, overall thoughts on pastel palettes. I really like all of them. Eve is weird, but whatever. Hina is wonderful. Aya genuinely charmed me, despite being one of those sort of boring protagonists. Chisato is also extremely, like, has a lot of depth as a character, and I really like it. And then Maya is just, like, you know, a lesbian music nerd who's kind of evil. Not evil, but she has an evil laugh. She's that kind of, like, you know, scary nerd type. And I love her. And it's just, like, you know, I just love them. They're my friends. I don't know what happened. I mean, that's not fair. I just, like, I don't know what the difference is functionally between this and Poppin' Party. Poppin' Party wasn't written as well, is just my feeling. And Pastel Palace was written really well, and I don't understand quite why that is. Maybe it's a matter of taste and I'm just wrong, but, like, I feel pretty strongly about this, because I didn't get a lot of character out of basically anybody in Poppin' Party, but, like, the whole bit here is, you know, they all, like, talk to each other all the time and have emotional realizations about each other while they try and improve. Which weirdly is not what happens in Poppin' Party, because they're too busy having Kasumi do weird things. So, you know. But, like, I just sort of, I had kind of a middling to negative opinion on the story of this game before, but I was just in the wrong place. It's like, you know, it's crazy how much it is. They have a nice, like, you know, they end up doing their concert. There's a whole bit where, like, you know, they're like, okay, you're cleared to do your next concert, and everyone will be performing live except Aya, who's on the vocals. They ask to perform lip syncing, because they're like, you get massive stage fright, and we just, like, want to make sure that this performance doesn't go badly. And she's like, I worked really hard. There's, like, a whole moment, she's like, I worked really hard, and then she is like, I need some time to think, and she goes away, and everyone's really worried about her, and Chisato is like, she just needs some time to think, and then she scolds the, you know, staff for like, being insensitive to her, but everyone has sort of a very emotionally mature response to this, whole thing is considered, where they, like, talk about their feelings, they have their feelings, and then they, like, leave Aya alone until she's ready to talk, which is, awesome. Love it. Sort of, they're also all, like, you know, we only ever see them within the context of the idol agency, which is kind of funny. We see them, like, outside of it, like, twice. But, you know, they're really just at this talent agency. And, you know, it's like, how old are you? Where do you go to school? I have no idea. Maybe this is a benefit to the setting, I don't know. Anyway, this is sort of just my general feeling, is like, what a good story. I really enjoyed it. I would like to keep following these characters. They didn't also interact with anybody else, any other band's characters, as far as I could tell, and so I don't feel like I'm missing things like I was with Poppin' Party. It's really hard to keep Poppin' Party and Pastel Palettes separate from each other in my head, because it's like plosives, high pass filter. Can you tell I was, editing episode 2 last week? Still thinking about it. But, it's just crazy to me. Like, I am kind of floored by it. But I had a really, really good time. I was just, watching the story and playing solitaire and having a good time. Which is wild, because I actively had a pretty bad time while watching Poppin' Party. I mean, not, like, actively a bad time, but it was, like, some of it was just not good. I also accumulated, finally, enough currency for a poll, so I'm gonna hope that I get something really good. But I also this is weirdly important to me. I want you to hear the Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party opening music, because I've been thinking about this all week, and I haven't written it down in my notes, and I haven't been able to express it. My god, no. Don't do this to me. I need you to restart the app, please. They just opened up to the menu that I was just on, and I was like, no, I need you to hear the noise that it makes when it opens the app. Okay. First of all, they're gonna say the names of the studios. Also, what happens when you open Project Sekai. What I want you to hear is coming up, come on. I don't know why that's in the opening theme. This is like, this is clock chimes. Why does it have like da 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 da? What is happening? What's going on? Anyway, here's just the main menu. Here's the gacha. Bum bum da 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 da. Okay. Girls' Memories Gacha. This is what I've been pulling on that has given me all of the weird event people. So we'll see if it gives me something good, and not something strange, hopefully. Play with ticket? No. 10 play gacha with stars. Play. And then they're gonna send me to the live house. And then I touch to cut the sticker. Or, not the sticker. I touch to cut the ticket. And then Smile Seeker, Kokoro Tsurumaki. I already had this one. Night Sky Gazing, Tsugumi Hazuwa. I did not have this one. Lofty Ambitions, Sayo Hikawa. I did not have that one. I'm a Penguin too, Kokoro Tsurumaki. I did not have that one. Captive Princess, Kanon Matsubara. Did not have that one. Fired Up, Hagami Kitazawa. I'm getting a lot of Hello Happy World. Did not have that one. Spirit of Bushido, Eve Wakamiya. I already had this one, but it's nice to see a Pastel Palettes in there. Connected Pair, Lisa Imai. Did not have. Serious Standby, Aya Maruyama. I can never say Aya's name right. I also already had this one, but still nice. It's another Pastel Palettes. Wait, it's not. It's Tsugumi Hazawa. But she's talking to Eve, so I don't know what the deal is. But that's a 3-star Bashful Veil Girl, Tsugumi Hazawa. They had some kind of marriage or wedding event. I can tell because there's a 4-star on the main screen for this poll that has Kasumi in a wedding dress. I don't know what, or why, or how this has happened. So that was 3 repeats, 7 new, and 1 3-star. Not a super exciting poll, but a poll nonetheless. so we'll leave that for now. I'll collect my title for getting, I'm feeling sugarific. I found it really hard to get pulls in this game. I did get 2 4 stars, and so I was able to form a pretty good band. I was able to get consistent A ranks. If I were just, like, watching story all the time, I wouldn't have any problem. Every story segment gives you 50 stars, and you need 2,500 to do a pull, so that's, like, 50 story episodes and you get a pull. But I'm not watching story all the time because it takes forever. I was able to watch all 20 of the Pastel Palette stories today and the rest of the Poppin' Party Chapter 1 because I had half of Poppin' Party Chapter 1 left, and so I left that on auto while I did my mirror dungeon for Olympus Company. And then I did half of the Pastel Palette story with voice off, and just clicked through it instead of letting it be on auto, which was much faster. But I'm neurotic, and so I don't usually do that. And so, I let the back half of it play while I was playing Solitaire, because I wanted to get a sense of the voice performance, which I also felt was better, but maybe I'm just biased. So that's my feelings for today. It's a long segment already, but it's time to cap the episode off. I feel like I've said a lot about my overall feelings about this game, but I haven't quantified them, and that's the important thing. So it's time for the content addictiveness Kinsey evaluation for Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party. Folks, this game, I won't get to the Kinsey scale number yet, but I'm thinking about it, just so you know. The content of Bandori, I was gonna rate this pretty low before today. But I've been convinced. I haven't seen any event stories. I wish I had. I haven't seen any of their, newer writing, really. And I wish I had. But I have been convinced that the writing in this game is, adequate at least, on average. And the score that adequate gives you on the content evaluation is a 3. I'm debating between a 3 and a 4 because I think the content is adequate in terms of writing. The rhythm game, I think the rhythm game has too many frustrations for me to, give it a point up for me. It's not a bad rhythm game in and of itself, but, I've talked about various things, like the cut-ins and the voice lines and the, there's just, sort of a lot. And that's not super satisfying. I also really wish that you could get gacha currency for doing basically any of the rhythm game, but they don't want me to, clearly. I tried to get my currency for today's poll by playing charts, but I don't know whether it's restricted to full comboing harder charts or what, but it just was not happening. They would give me coins, which lets me level up my band members and things, or rather level up my area items, which buff my band members, but nothing pull-wise, which is sort of frustrating. So I think the rhythm game is a net 0 to the experience of playing this game. So I think the content is a solid 3. I was gonna rate it lower, but I've been convinced. Addictiveness? I want to rate this one also pretty low. These are not, as we always say, these are not ratings of quality. I mean, the content rating is kind of a rating of quality, but these are not, strictly about how good or bad the thing is overall. I feel bad rating it, middling on content and low on addictiveness. But in fairness, they made it, the easiest way to get pulls is to do the slowest thing in the world, which is watch 50 story scenes. And there's a lot of story for this game, and this is just insane to me. And so that's a real low one. I will play a rhythm game for as long as I want. Which is pretty long. And the music is not bad. I would say it's, average. There weren't any songs that were, total standouts to me. I preferred the covers, generally, to the original music, but that's just because I mostly bought covers that I liked. The original music was, fine. I played the song for all of the graduating song, which is, I guess, one that they did with all of the characters who were of the age to graduate high school. And that was, like, you know, kind of emotionally resonant, I guess. But mostly the songs are very average. But I will play a rhythm game for as long as you want me to, so, you know, I can deal with that. It just isn't, like, doing anything for my ability to continue playing Bandori. I know the rhythm game is supposed to be the main draw, but it wasn't providing anything to, like, the other half of the game, which is this gacha visual novel. So those parts seemed very separate. It was very strange. Overall, I think addictiveness is a 2. Not, like, egregious. Not fantastic. Kinsey scale. See, this one I was also going to put a little bit lower before today. Not below a 3. Not below a 4, I think. But, you know, sort of the pure energy of lesbians was not there. There is not a single man. I have not seen a single man. Not one. None, no NPCs that are men. No characters that are men. I have not seen a single man acknowledged to exist. Maybe one of the unnamed talent agency staff members was a man. I don't know. Which does not necessarily mean lesbianism. I mean, it does, but it like, the vibe is important. Does it have sort of a sterile vibe? Or does it have, like, a lesbian vibe? And, like, a lot of the jokes in the Poppin' Party story revolve around Kasumi and Arisa's weird relationship, which is pretty gay. But I wasn't sold on a higher rating until I met Maya. Maya is a lesbian's lesbian. And I have it on good authority that there are some other real lesbians in this game. So I'm going to go out on a limb and give this one a full 6 on the Kinsey scale. I think that this is a game full of lesbians and nothing but lesbians. Do I think the quality of the lesbianism is peak? Refer to content score. But this game has lesbians in it, and they are lesbians. And the lesbianism is, like, enough to bump it. It's high enough quality lesbianism to bump it from a 5 to a 6. So take that as you will. 3 to 6. Not a bad score. Do I have anybody who's, you know, like, 326 in our pinned messages with Ivy? 3333. No, not really. Okay. Yay. That's all I want to know. And then I think, are we good? Are we done? This has been a long week, and so it's hard to think of it being, like, over, but I think that's all I had to say. I don't know if I would say go play Bandori BanG Dream Girls Band Party, but don't not play it. You know, it's a pretty good game. It's one of the ones that is available to you. Ensemble Stars overall is kind of an overwhelming experience, but I enjoy it greatly. It depends on a lot of lore, which you need to be in sort of the deep lore to sort of understand. And that is appealing to me, because I love wiki diving. And Project Sekai is extremely approachable and, like, very nice. It has a lot of the same problem with very, very long story segments, but, like, you'll get past it. Bandori is, you know, a sort of a worse off-brand Project Sekai, but I don't mind it. Like I've said before, and, you know, I was glad to experience the story of Pastel Palettes. They're gonna kind of live in my heart forever now, I think. I genuinely really, really enjoyed it. So that's a very high note to end on. I didn't want to end this one on, like, a meh or a nah. You know, it's nice to end this one on a yay. But without further ado, you know, it's getting late. It's getting dark. And so I think it's time for me to leave this harbor and move on to the next port of call. I've made a long trip, and, it's been good at times, and the waters have been choppier at others, but I think it's time to return home, to circle back to where it all started, and really, take a dip in the waters of our own pond. And that's all I'll say about what we're going to be covering next time. Make of that what you will. I think that this one is tremendously guessable, and so you're welcome to leave your guesses in the co-host ask box. Whoever wins gets a cookie. Just one. Flavor, oatmeal raisin. I can only do so much. Unless you like oatmeal raisin, in which case, congrats. So, that's all from me. I had a good time. I hope you had a good time. This is a normal length episode. This makes me very happy. I wish I had a better outro. I think I kind of did my outro already, and then I swerved. But, it would make me happy if you would tune in to another episode of Gone Fishin', our final one, and then when we're done with that, we'll be back to regular programming of the podcast, which is extremely exciting to me. So, I will see you then.
キラドキドキしてる。この1年、私たちの周りはキラキラドキドキに溢れてて、それはきっと私たちだけじゃなくって、いろんなバンドの人たちに出会えたからだと思うんです。なんか話してたらワクワクしてきちゃった。